guys, Dave here. In this video tutorial, we're going to learn how you can add your own custom domain to Vortex. Adding a custom domain to Vortex requires a few steps to be done in the Vortex website and a few steps at your hosting provider, DNS provider, or certificate authority websites. For this video, we're just going to cover the Vortex steps. Check back here in the future for detailed tutorials on how to edit your DNS or export a proper certificate from your certificate authority that can be used within Vortex. We'll give a brief description here, but the details will be in the future video. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to our channel. Let's begin. After signing into Vortex, click Sites on the left menu and you'll see the screen that you see here. Click Add New Site in the top right to start adding your custom domain. And this is the Add Site dialog. You'll notice it started with Instant Domain selected, so go ahead and click Own Domain at the top so that we can add our own domain name. But before we get started, let's talk a little bit about what a custom domain does in Vortex. While a Vortex Instant Domain lets you expose your local computer to the internet by providing you with a public URL and sending all traffic down to your computer, a Vortex-owned domain acts more like a content filter or a firewall. It lets you define rules to specify exactly what traffic you want to handle, and all other traffic flows like normal as if Vortex wasn't even there. And that's where this screen comes in. You'll notice on this screen there's two boxes. One is for your fully qualified domain name. So if people type www.myapp.com to access your product, that's what goes in the first box. The second box is for your product's IP address. You should have already put this in your DNS provider, and it should have been given to you by your hosting provider. So go ahead and type that value in here. We're almost done. Just two more checkboxes and your owned domain will be added to Vortex. The first checkbox indicates that you want to handle secure traffic. Remember, if you check this box, we're going to have to upload an SSL certificate later. You'll hear more about that in a minute. And the second box indicates if you want to handle non-secure traffic. I suggest you leave them both checked and leave the port numbers the same. If you're an advanced developer with a unique need, the only requirement is that you have at least one of the two checkboxes marked, and you can use any port you like. So let's go ahead and click the Add Owned Domain button to add this site to Vortex. I warned you, there's some changes outside of Vortex that have to be done before your site can work. You'll notice the site was added to your site screen, but there's two yellow icons. The first icon is asking you to change your DNS. The second icon is telling you you need to upload a certificate so we can handle secure traffic. Your site's not going to work until it looks like the box on the right with all green checks. Let's handle these two messages one at a time, starting with the DNS. It's the easiest. When you registered your domain name, a DNS server was assigned to you. For example, if you registered it at GoDaddy, the GoDaddy DNS server is being used. A more advanced user could have gone in and edited their DNS to a different provider, maybe on site or maybe just at a different company. Either way, you need to go to your domain provider and see what is the DNS used by your domain. Then go to that DNS company, whether it's GoDaddy or some other place, and edit the records. When editing your DNS, you're going to notice that every record is just made up of a type, a name, and a value. So we're looking for records that are of type A and a name of www. The current value is either going to be the IP address you typed into Vortex earlier, or maybe just an @. Either way, you need to edit that record right now and put in the IP address that Vortex shows you. In this example, we're going to enter 192.227.107.13. Click the Save button and wait for your DNS to propagate. This process could take anywhere between 5 minutes and 2 hours, but once it's done, the yellow box in Vortex will turn into a green check, and you'll know that it's finished. And now for the difficult part. Stop that! It's not going to be that difficult. You need to upload your SSL certificate to the Vortex server in a PEM file format. This can be challenging because a lot of certificate providers do not give you all the necessary data to build this format right off the bat. You have to hunt around for the private key, the public key, and possibly even an intermediate key. All three of those need to be copied and pasted into a text file that's renamed to .pem and then uploaded to Vortex. Your provider may offer you to download a PIM file, but it might only have one certificate. For example, I use name.com and they only show me the private key just one time when I'm requesting the certificate signing request. It's very important to copy this value and put it in the text file before you start. Don't worry, if you didn't do that, it's also very easy to go back and generate a new certificate, but this time copy that private key. The new certificate can be downloaded in any format, but even if you're not offered the option for PIM file, you can download a product called OpenSSL, which lets you easily switch between certificate formats. At the end of the day, you're looking for a file that's plain text and looks something like what you see on the screen now. It'll have your public key, your private key, and like I said, sometimes a third intermediate key, all stored inside the same file. If you save this file as anything .pem, it can be uploaded to Vortex. Once you've assembled your keys into a PIM file and are ready to upload it to Vortex, click Certificates on the left menu. You'll see a button in the top right for uploading that PIM file to Vortex. If everything works out, it should show up in the list and your owned domain name should appear under Secured Domains. The domain has to be exactly the same name as you added to the site screen or it won't secure your traffic. So, if you did it and you see the name, let's go ahead and click Sites and see if all the checkboxes are green. They should be, and you should be ready to try it out. That's right, all the checks are green and your site is now configured in Vortex. So, what do we do next? I load my website, everything looks the same, but what's happening? Well, by default, no rules are created. All your traffic is just flowing like normal. So to get started creating rules, click Rules on the left menu and add some criteria for intercepting traffic. And remember, rules come in 3 flavors. First, there's debug, which will allow you to send that traffic directly to a developer when the rule is hit. Then there's monitor, which just journals the traffic as it flows through the server. And then there's trash, which lets you throw certain traffic right into the garbage, so no reply is made. And now you've seen how to add your owned domain to Vortex. We'll get into details about rule creation, viewing the journal, and debugging live traffic in a future video. So check back here for more information about Vortex. And until then, have a great Vortex rest of your day.